Howdy, folks, howdy. Don't know how fondly I'll look back at this book when it's done, because it was just it was quite difficult to write. Not that anything bad happened when I was writing it, because, usually when you don't think fondly of a book, it's because something terrible was going on in your life as you were working on it. Let's see. I guess that means the worst book I'll ever work on will be the one I work on as when I die, so I don't finish it. Anyway, let's see. Irving wondered when he put the 40mm launcher to use to clear out the position, the hallway before Captain Colonel Galt, for the room where Colonel Tenley Galt was being held. He was, Irving supposed, he might have been tipped his hand a little as to his intentions. Tipped hand for the colonel. The 40mm shell. Irving had actually only been sent to rescue one of the VIPs. The other was to be silenced. He might have already talked at some point, but Irving was to silence him permanently. I suppose it was a neat job. It was a job he was suited for. He had taken care of witnesses. This is the government before. Witnesses before, and he was still loyal to this government. Nobody called him a terrorist back then. Back then, he was a patriot. Irving was a kid. He had dreams of being a gangster. Literally, in some cases. In cases. He dreamed Al Capone. Al Calzone. Was Al Capone fat? He looked pretty fat in those old pictures. Probably was fat. I don't know. I don't know what the Al Capone diet was back then, but it didn't look like he was ever he ever deprived himself, let's say. Let's see, Larry, if you could dream Al Capone himself sent him on missions to rub out witnesses. He says, Irving never considered the fact that he was a bad guy in these dreams. It was just so cool. Cool to be a gangster and work for the most famous gangster in the world. Later on, Irving worked for the U.S. government, who were gangsters, but on a grander scale, rubbing out anybody who stood in the way of their dominance. Irving had done a lot to ensure that the Zedin century, many called it, would remain as such. Let's see. Irving's superiors were going to be quite pleased. no matter what happened next, afterwards. Irving was pretty certain he'd at least take care of Colonel Galt. The 40mm launcher took out most of the hall's defenders, sending them tumbling out of cover and into the open, limp as bloodless, boneless dolls. A few that survived ended up peppered with shrapnel and ride their way into the open so that small arms fire could take them out. There were still a few left at the doorway into the colonel's quarters, his room, where he was tied up and likely being used as a shield. Tied up. Give it up, Irving ordered. We're just here for the colonel. Give him to us, and you'll be spared. Get out of here. One of the surviving guardsmen in the room yelled out. Friendly tanks and infantry sweeping through the area. They'll soon be here. There will be no escape for you guys. You guys, Irving thought. Funny they'd say that instead of you bastards. Why be so polite when dealing with terrorists? Or I suppose some guys probably just had that nice guy gene where they were polite, invariably polite. Irving didn't have that gene, thus didn't have that problem. Listen up, you motherfuckers. Fuckers, Irving yelled. We got 100 grenades and another few of these 40mm shells. You come out now and become our hostages, and we'll let you live. Keep this up another minute. Another minute and you die. We storm that room. Either way, you're dead. Fuck you. The polite guy. Irving coughed. Mumbled. Irving finally took one of his lieutenants. Looked aside. We're not here. We're here to save Galt. We're here to get rid of him. Silence him, Irving said. So when you storm that room, don't try to save him. Save him or limit your shots. But be careful with your shots. Spray the room. Room till it looks like a mob hit gone south. Sir. Luke muttered. He was clearly puzzled. Puzzled, and Irving could understand. Irving was the only one who knew their true mission. And thus, he was the only buddy who all this time, nothing else thought Galt was to be rescued. Now all of a sudden, son. He was to be killed. Now one of Irving's salutes knew the truth. Just get on with it. Irving ordered. Grenades through the door. Doors and bullets to take down herd of elephants. I'll protect you guys. Healing a man afterwards. Irving 1 provided suppressing fire about the doorway, 10-meter off. 1 of the fellas, enemy there, got pegged through the wall and stumbled out a bit. He had gotten a bullet to the right side of his face. Tissue, that's skin and meat out the mouth was all torn up like some big vicious bird. And viscous. Yeah, don't get that word confused with viscous. Giant bird. Do you know what a giant bird looks like? You know how surly ostriches are, so you can see how birds would act if they were if all of them were as big as humans. They treat us like crap. The bird had torn his mouth open. Or had seen plenty of nasty wounds and thought he was used to them. He couldn't help but cringe. Seeing that. The fellow was put out of his misery. Soon after. In 3 rounds, and some 16 got him in the head, and he slumped to the ground and fell backwards. Another guy got pegged and shot about the abdomen, and then he was dropped to the carpet, clutching rapidly a big bloody wound with hands soon stained crimson. He was killed when Irving's loot and a few men managed to move up, toss grenades through the door. From an alcove 5 meter back. Is it a double door? You know how Homer likes double glazed donuts. 2 grenades caused the 2 grenades caused a hurricane of fire and shrapnel to rip through the room. The loot and his men stormed in afterwards, firing their 16s briefly. With most of the occupants were either dead or mortally wounded, as all but one of the occupants was dead or mortally wounded on the floor. Amazingly, Colonel Galt was still alive and tied to the chair. Tied to a wooden chair at the rear of the room. The colonel looked like the larger-than-life figure that he was, with a steely gaze, dark brown eyes. Thin thick black hair top his head. They ain't let him cut his hair since his capture, so it was practically shoulder length in a warrior's, like what a medieval war, like how a medieval warrior would wear his hair. He was a big fellow. He was a big, muscular, older fellow, somewhere in his 50s. Fellow, somewhere in his early 50s. He was dressed in an orange prisoner uniform. I can't help but picture him in his old dress uniform. Ted was unavailable. Come to spring me? The colonel asked the instant he saw Irving. The colonel recognized Irving, even though he didn't address him by name. Irving gave him an unhappy look in reply. Afraid not. Afraid not. Irving admitted. I'm actually here, too. I'm actually here to make sure you don't talk. I didn't talk. Colonel Galt replied forcefully. He looked quite insulted. I would never talk and betray my comrades. I suspect that's true. True, sir. Irving replied that. But I happen to believe everyone, even the strongest men, have their limits. And you'd eventually talk. Irving imagined they would use some truth serum on him, or a psychic on him. And they hadn't already. Perhaps Galt had been drugged up and talked earlier, and was so out of it, he didn't realize he did so. Guess Diet Pepsi actually doesn't taste that bad warm. Though it tastes 10 times better cold. If you get a nice cold Pepsi, you can really taste the cold. And that's mostly what I'm drinking, not the other flavors in there. It's kind of hard to describe. Let's see. If there was caffeine in here, I probably wouldn't even need to drink a coffee every morning. Didn't realize he did so. Couldn't you at least give me a chance to fight and die like a man? Gagged. Galt asked Irving. I mean, I could die fighting these swine like you have. I think. Irving was sure that Galt wouldn't turn a weapon on him. But once again, Irving couldn't take that chance. Galt had to die, and he had to do it now. Sorry, sir. The revolution will continue in your name, Irving reassured. and raised his rifle, fired a burst through Galt's skull. The man slumped, the lifeless body, and he slumped forward. But didn't tumble out of the chair. In an instant, Irving felt completely disgusted himself. Okay, 20 minutes in. I guess we didn't end on a cliffhanger. I showed you that Galt got killed by Irving. Alright, let's see. See you later, Simon.